Good afternoon. By now, you are all aware of the governor issuing another order closing indoor dining in our region, after doing so in many other regions throughout the state. The case positivity threshold is 3 days at 8% for closures. It was 20% to open up to begin with. This was changed arbitrarily to 8%. Region 10 has yet to reach 8%, yet we are being closed. I can't keep track of the science behind 20%, then 8%, now less than 8%. The metric the governor is using instead is 7 days of positivity rate increases. As I have said numerous times, this is easily manipulated by who you test, how often you test, and the amount of tests you report. The governor is using this plus COVID-like illness hospitalization increases over 7 of the last 10 days. So now the flu, pneumonia, and rhinovirus can trigger shutdowns. How ludicrous is this? Dr. Ezike, the director of IDPH, said this: "At the beginning of the pandemic, we were concerned about overwhelming our hospitals, and we must take action now to prevent that possibility. Originally, to reopen, we needed to have ICU and ventilator availability over 14%. Once reopened, it needed to be 20%. Currently, ICU bed availability is 32%. Statewide, our hospital beds, ICU beds, and ventilator use due to COVID are a fraction of what they were when we reopened, as we show here. On May 5th, people hospitalized with COVID was 4,832. As of October 24th, it was 2,605. ICU beds with COVID were 1,231 on May 5th. They're now 565. Ventilators with COVID were 780. Now they're 214. Suburban Cook County also tracks COVID hospitalizations that remain flat in spite of case increases and COVID-like illness increases, as shown here. Moreover, last November, our hospitals were on bypass. This means that they were full, due to the flu. This has happened several times before. We didn't lock down our schools or our businesses for that. But now, with above average available capacity, we are locking things down again. The governor continues to move the goalposts. This is about control and power and not about science and data. His restrictions targeting restaurants are capricious. To this point, the governor has yet to show any data that supports shutting down restaurants or targeting the businesses that he has. We have not seen evidence that the mitigation is necessary since indoor dining reopened on June 26, 2020. Since that time, mask usage has remained steady. Also, social mobility has remained steady during this time. The recent rise in cases did not occur until 4 full months later, which indicates that the rise in cases have nothing to do with restaurant openings, or we would have seen those increases 4 months ago. Yesterday, we found data from the DuPage County Public Health Department that you see here. Please take the time to review it on your screen. The source is the Illinois Department of Public Health Outbreak Reporting System. It shows that 1.4% of the cases in DuPage County are from restaurants, and a whopping 77% of cases are from long-term care, skilled nursing, and assisted living facilities. This information, however, cannot be found on the Cook County DPH or IDPH website. However, we know from DuPage that this information does exist. I want to know, why is it being hidden from us? This is important information that we can use to make decisions. I can only conclude that it is being hidden because it does not support locking down restaurants. I doubt DuPage is much different than Suburban Cook. I repeat, 1.4% of cases in DuPage come from restaurants. It is high time for the governor to share the data and science he is using. Stop hiding it. According to him, video gaming inside a restaurant is perfectly safe, but eating in the restaurant is not. Is that because of the data and science, or because the state skims 30% of tax off of the gaming revenue? Scientific, data-driven people like me want to know. The people of Orland Park in Illinois want to know. The restaurant owners who are having their livelihoods destroyed deserve transparency. What the governor has also shown is a willingness to use the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and the Illinois Emergency Management Agency to threaten businesses and village officials. So much for commerce and opportunity. He also used the Illinois Liquor Commission against businesses here in Orland Park and elsewhere in the state. The heavy hand of government regulators to destroy businesses and livelihoods. How many times have we witnessed that in human history? Now he has indicated he will send the state police into businesses that do not close as he demands. Apparently, looting and rioting were okay, but small businesses trying to keep their businesses from permanently closing is not. I have been asked about Orland Park's position on enforcement. Let me be clear. Local officials do not have the power or responsibility to enforce an executive order issued pursuant to the IEMA Act. The direct quote from IEMA, "Every emergency services and disaster agency established pursuant to this act and the coordinators thereof shall execute and enforce the orders, rules, and regulations made by the governor under the authority of this act." And, I quote, "Nothing in this act shall be construed to affect the jurisdiction or responsibilities of police forces, firefighting forces, etc." Simply put, if the village takes any steps to enforce these orders, which may be illegal and have been voided by a downstate judge, it opens the village up to the potential for federal civil rights liability. Therefore, the village will not take any of these steps and will leave it up to the state emergency services and disaster agencies established pursuant to the IEMA Act and the coordinators thereof to execute and enforce the orders, rules, and regulations made by the governor. Personally, I will continue to work diligently to help our residents and businesses to achieve a balance between public health and our economy. As I have stated several times, it is not a binary choice. We can and must do both. COVID-related hospitalizations remain flat, confirming that we are in fact doing both. As I have said many times, adults can make their own informed decisions, and businesses must operate in a way that makes their customers comfortable and safe. I will continue to support the decisions of our business owners. We will also put forth a Dine Orland program at the next board meeting to encourage visitors and residents to support our restaurants. I encourage everyone to use good judgment, support our local businesses, stay at home if you are sick, and follow good sanitary and hygiene practices. Working together as a community will allow us to get through these challenging times. Thank you.